First at 4, he's one of the most powerful business leaders in Detroit. We have an update on Dan Gilbert's recovery from a stroke. Eric Garner's cries of "I can't breathe" were heard across the nation. Today, there's a new ruling on the officer involved in Garner's death. And here at home, we've suffered through some highs and lows this summer. Not this weekend, though. Stick around for the weekend forecast. Paula?
Hi, Sandra. To help Mother Nature or not to help Mother Nature in terms of helping the threatened monarch? Are humans doing more harm than good? We talked to the experts. These stories and more are happening right now on Local 4, First at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon to you, everyone. I'm Sandra Ali in for Karen Drew. First at 4, it's the end of the line for the General Motors Warren transmission plant. The Warren plant was one of 5 North American factories that GM decided to idle. The closures are part of an effort to cut costs and focus on the future of the auto industry. Right now, dozens of plant employees are wondering what the future holds for them. Of the 262 workers at the Warren plant, 60 have transferred to other plants. 25 have retired, but 177 workers are now left trying to figure out what happens next. All of Detroit talking about a brand new video message from Quicken Loans founder Dan Gilbert. It was sent to his employees, and it's now making the rounds on social media. In the video, he seems alert and speaking clearly. Quicken did not share a copy with us, but instead sent a statement saying, and this is a quote, "Yesterday, he recorded a brief video to share his gratitude with our company's 17,000 team members. We all wish Dan well as he continues down the path to recovery." New police officers will soon be patrolling the streets of Detroit. Today, Chief James Craig and other DPD leaders were on hand. They were at the Second Ebenezer Church on DeQuinder to welcome the newest officers. After his graduation, DPD welcomed 28 new officers to the force. They're going to be assigned to several precincts all across the city. We are easing into a really great summer weekend. Andrew is in today for Ben. And Andrew, what's the very latest?
Well, Sandra, this is just what the doctor ordered, right? Temperatures in the upper 70s, low 80s, humidity, all on the comfortable side. We're looking at 79 degrees for our friends over in Port Huron, 71 at City Airport and in Mount Clemens, 83 over at Metro Airport, and nice and dry out there. So temperature, heat index, 1 in the same, even a heat index a little bit lower than the actual temperature with a nice breeze out there. It's 80 for our friends in Pontiac. Ann Arbor checking in at 82 degrees. Raindrops, thunderstorms, all someplace else. We are sitting pretty here in Detroit and the entire Lower Peninsula. Can we keep it going into tonight and on both Saturday and Sunday? Your full weekend and 7-day forecast coming right up.
Thank you, Andrew. The financial markets really struggling to recover after the newest tit for tat between President Trump and China. Today, China promised it will take, quote, necessary countermeasures if the president sticks with new tariffs on more Chinese goods. Let's go ahead and take a look for you at the latest numbers from Wall Street. And you can see the Dow is down right now, 98 points. The Dow was up 300 points yesterday. That was before the president tweeted about the new tariffs. There is a new ruling today in a controversial police case out of New York City. We're talking about the death of Eric Garner, whose dying pleas of "I can't breathe" really became a national rallying cry. Kimberly Gill is in the newsroom this afternoon with the ruling and also reaction from Garner's family. And Kimberly, we know this case came up during the Democratic debate right here in Detroit.
You're right, Sandra, it did, and good afternoon to you. Anyone who watched the second debate heard the chants of "Fire Pantaleo" directed at New York Mayor Bill de Blasio. Well, this case has been simmering for 5 years now. Believe it or not, it's been that long. You may remember New York police confronted Eric Garner for selling untaxed loose cigarettes on a Staten Island street. Well, Officer Daniel Pantaleo used a chokehold to restrain him when he refused to be handcuffed. Garner was 6'2", 400 pounds. Pantaleo argued he used department-approved chokeholds, but today an administrative judge disagreed and recommended the officer be fired. The NYPD immediately suspended the officer, which is standard in such cases as this one. The final decision, though, rests with the police commissioner. Garner's sister says there's only one choice.
This has been a long battle. 5 years, too long. And finally, somebody has said that there's some information that this cop has done something wrong. We've waited 5 years. CCRB has made the recommendation. Commissioner O'Neill, fire Pantaleo. That's all we asking.
The police department will not comment until Commissioner James O'Neill has made his decision. Officer Pantaleo has 2 weeks to give his response. The police union calls the recommendation, quote, pure political insanity, and says firing Pantaleo will paralyze the department. Sandra, a lot of news here, more developments coming, and we'll, of course, keep you posted when those happen. Until then, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, we'll be following it. Thank you, Kimberly. America's royal family once again haunted by tragedy, this time as a young member of the Kennedys has died. Saoirse Kennedy Hill was just 22 years old. She died last night after police responded to a call for a drug overdose at the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. She was the granddaughter of Robert and Ethel Kennedy, daughter of their 5th child, Courtney. She fought a public battle with depression and actually once attempted suicide. In a statement, her grandmother Ethel said, quote, "The world is a little less beautiful today." A slight majority of Democrats in Congress now support an impeachment inquiry targeting President Trump. 118 Democrats of 235 have now publicly said they do favor an impeachment proceeding. At least 22 members of the House have made that declaration since Robert Mueller's testimony, which was last week. At least 4 Michigan Democrats have signaled their support. President Trump has always said he's done nothing wrong. First at 4, we're tracking other stories making headlines around the world on this Friday, and the U.S. has now formally withdrawn from a treaty with Russia that had been in effect for 32 years. Today marks the end of the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo blaming Russia, saying it wasn't living up to its part of the bargain. Now the U.S. is preparing to test out a new non-nuclear cruise missile developed to specifically challenge Moscow in Europe. NATO calls the end of the treaty a serious setback. We have big news out of Sweden today, where the rapper A$AP Rocky has been released from jail pending a decision in his assault trial. The trial is over. A verdict will be delivered on August 14th. Until then, though, the court freed Rocky and his 2 co-defendants. They're accused of assault in a street fight. They say it's self-defense, but prosecutors say they had plenty of time to leave the scene. Right now, A$AP Rocky says he plans to take a private jet out of Sweden later tonight. Moving on to Indonesia now, where we have this story here. Have you seen this video? Elephants running for their lives. About 140 wild elephants had to avoid these fast-moving wildfires. Those fires have been raging throughout the country, engulfing a national park, which is home to those elephants. 6,000 firefighters are at work right now. 19 people have already been detained. They're accused of starting those fires. Investigators say companies start the fires to clear the land for planting. First at 4, we've been bringing you stories about people helping our birds, bees, and butterflies. The monarch population is in real trouble. Honeybees are disappearing, but not everyone agrees that human assistance will really help Mother Nature in the long run. Paula Tutman takes a look at that debate and what it means for all of us.
I'm at the Edsel and Eleanor Ford Butterfly House in Grosse Pointe Shores, and this butterfly house is open all season long, but this is a great time to come because I just want you to see what's going on here. You see these? I mean, they have butterflies of all kinds, but particularly these beautiful monarchs that we all know are threatened. The monarch's mystique is that it is the only butterfly that actually migrates like a bird, taking as many as 5 generations to complete its journey from North America to Mexico. Its only food as a caterpillar is milkweed. That's where the female lays her eggs. Take a look. See that? She tucks her butt, places it on the milkweed, and look at that. There's the eggs. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eggs in a matter of seconds. Because the monarch caterpillar is so food specific, the entire species is considered threatened because milkweed has a lot of enemies. Tractors, weed whips, lawnmowers, rabbits, deer.
When we do roadside mowing, we cut down a lot of good habitat for common milkweed that monarchs could use.
Which is why so-called citizen scientists have taken up the mantle to help monarchs and Mother Nature by giving the eggs and caterpillars safe haven in kitchens and other pest-proof habitats. In fact, naturalist and retired educator Dan Farmer says the more people who learn how to raise monarchs properly, the better.
It's an important boost because a caterpillar in the wild faces many dangers, including parasites and some diseases.
But there's another learned philosophy, and that is hands off artificially incubating Mother Nature's creations. Dr. Tom Raffel of Oakland University's Biological Studies Department believes there are simply better ways to help the monarch population.
The most important thing we need to do is restore butterfly habitat all across the United States.
In fact, he says there's evidence that captive-raised monarchs and other butterflies don't do as well.
There's some evidence that at least some of the populations that have been captive reared for a long period of time may have actually had the ability to effectively migrate bred out of them. I think that there needs to be more work on that, but I think it's something that's a possibility that needs to be considered.
So this is Dr. Raffel's backyard, and you can see all this beautiful milkweed with these big fat seed pods. And for those of us who really care about monarchs, this is what we really like to see. But with these opposing views, how do we make a decision? We've got to really do our own deep diving, do our research, and really think about this. But one thing that most experts I talk to agree on is if we are going to raise these caterpillars to butterflyhood, make sure we're doing the releases in the summer, not before the fall migration. Just simply protect the habitat, and hopefully that won't necessarily disrupt their natural biospheres as well as biorhythms and georhythms. I'm learning too, Sandra, trying to get that right. Yeah.
Yeah, we all are. And there's a lot to consider here. So many factors. Thank you so much, Paula. Still ahead, Facebook revealing a big crackdown on a covert campaign tied to a foreign government. It's probably not the government you're thinking about. We're going to talk about that in our trending stories. Also ahead, the shocking story behind an alleged police shooting, why an officer is now the one facing charges. But up first, a dangerous job. One of the risks caught on camera. We're going to show you how this violence ended with a bang. Stay with us.